Hi, I'm Dr. Martin, and I would like to tell you a little bit today about what Smoky Mountain is. It's a local government organization that treats people with certain disabilities here in Alexander County, as well as all of our other 23 counties in western North Carolina. So we support people who have problems either with mental health issues, substance abuse, or intellectual or developmental disabilities. And those would be things like people with autism or Down syndrome. People sometimes wonder, well, do I really need to see a doctor, or should I talk to somebody about something? And I think someday we'll be at the point where people address mental health issues the same way they address all other health issues. But basically, if a person is not feeling themselves for a while, if they're being more down, it's not kind of like the blues where you have a bad day, but on a number of days you're not doing well, or you're feeling more upset and there's a change in your routine, or a family member might be concerned about somebody who's using more alcohol and drugs than they used to be. Those would be the reasons that we would encourage people to reach out. They could talk to their primary doctor or health care provider. We actually have a toll-free number at Smoky, so if you need any help, you could call 1-800-849-6127. We have qualified staff who answer that phone 24/7. So anytime, at any point, a family member you could call. We would help you make a connection to talk to somebody. Sometimes people will first want to talk with their family doctor, but then the family doctor could even call that number. So we'll make sure you get the support you need. And if there are any questions about it, the staff there have my cell phone number, and they can call me 24/7. Well, here in Alexander County, we have health professionals who provide special services for several disability groups. People who are struggling with mental health issues, people who have substance abuse concerns, or people who have trouble with intellectual and developmental disabilities. One of the places that people can get the type of help they need, where they can come for almost anything, is a place called RHA. It's called a Comprehensive Care Center, a CCC. And what that means is you talk with one person, but they will communicate with your primary care doctor or with other people to make sure that your needs are met. You know, sometimes people think if you're going to say I need mental health help, that there's something wrong with you, that maybe you're spiritually devoid or you have a moral or mental weakness. Actually, what we know is that people who have mental health concerns and issues are not crazy, they're not weak, they just have a problem. Whether you call it a disease, which is like dis-ease, a discomfort, the real goal, I think, for people is to get back on track and have a journey of health and wellness. People want to kind of have a meaningful life, and they'd like to be able to achieve their maximum potential. What we know with behavioral health care conditions or with substance abuse issues is that those conditions are as or more treatable than high blood pressure or diabetes, and people can get back and have a very meaningful life. So although there still is some stigma, I think someday that will be away, and right now we have to help people get the help they need. Just like if you have problems with not being able to get to sleep at night, you probably don't want to just be taking pills. You probably want to talk to somebody about that and figure out what's going on that's causing that insomnia. I want to just take a moment and talk about suicide, because I know that's a concern for people everywhere, as well as here in Alexander County. What we know is about every 17 minutes, somewhere in the United States, a person, sadly, is going to take their life. Now, why do people do that? Suicide is called a permanent response to a temporary problem. So what we would do is we would encourage people to call a toll-free number, which we have, and maybe you could post that on the board for people to see. But if they call that number, they can get the type of help that they actually need. What we find is that at certain times of transition in life, either younger childhood and adolescence or older age, people are more vulnerable to actually hurting themselves. And the important thing to do is to actually ask the question. Don't pretend that you don't want to ask it, but actually say, are you feeling so upset you think you might hurt yourself? Because if you do, there's a place to go and a place to get help. The sad thing about death is it's not only the life of the person we lose, it's how it impacts the family and the community. And we want to change that here in Alexander County. There are common early warning signs for mental health problems, and they can really vary from person to person. If you have somebody who's normally pretty quiet and all of a sudden they're talking really fast, that could be an indicator something's different, and the obverse could be true as well. But what we see oftentimes in our mental health practices and in our primary health care practices is somebody who's not sleeping very well, somebody who can't turn off their thoughts, they're having racing thoughts, or somebody who's just down and depressed and sad all the time. And those would be reasons that that one might want to reach out and talk to a person and sort of figure out what's happening that's causing those symptoms. Not just take a pill to cause the problem with sleep to go away, but to figure out what caused the problem with sleep to come up in the first place. Some people ask me, what is recovery? And I think recovery means different things to different people. But the important thing is, what is your purpose in life and what do you want to accomplish? And if you find that problems with sadness or depression or problems with drugs or alcohol are keeping you from meeting those goals, or if you have a loved one at home who's suffering from an intellectual or developmental disorder and you don't feel like you've got enough supports, there are ways to reach out and have a meaningful life for you and for your loved ones. So that's what recovery is. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for watching today. If you need any help and there's any way we can be of help at Smoky Mountain, just call us 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 1-800-849-6127. Thank you so much.